Hello, welcome back to Bookish Bites with Northern Onondaga Public Libraries. If you've never tuned in to one of our programs before, my name is Jackie. I'm the Adult Services Librarian at NOPL North Syracuse, and this is part of our virtual programming series. This series, Bookish Bites, is designed to introduce you to some of our cookbook collection at NOPL and help you find some new recipes, maybe recipes that you'll use at your holiday feast if you celebrate. If you don't, then these are definitely good recipes to make pretty much at any time. This week, we are going to be making risotto. Let me tell you, I love risotto. It's something I recently learned how to make. It has quickly become a staple in my household. I make it and it keeps for a couple days. I can usually get 3 to 4 servings out of one set of recipes. So like I said, we are inspired by NOPL's cookbook collections, and today we are going to use our risotto recipe inspired by Anthony Bourdain Appetite Cookbooks. Appetite's a cookbook. If you don't know who Anthony Bourdain is, Google. He's a cool dude, and he is very, 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 very good chef. The recipe we're using today is inspired by it. I'm not saying I'm a better chef than Anthony Bourdain, not in any way, sense, or form, whatever. But I don't have some of the ingredients that he has. So we're going to flub it a little bit, and I am going to cut the recipe in half. All right, so this is actually a really good recipe too. He's got a lot of different dishes in here and a lot of different courses you can check out too. Today we're going to use the recipe for saffron risotto. However, I don't have saffron. I looked and I couldn't find it anywhere. So we're going to be making risotto without saffron. And we are also going to be adding mushrooms because I have a bunch of mushrooms that are that need to be used, and I love mushroom risotto. So what else you're gonna need? The main ingredient to risotto. First off, if you've never had risotto, it literally is a rice dish. Risotto means rice. It is a very starchy form of rice or rice dish. It's very starchy, it's very creamy. It almost looks like oatmeal, which I know sounds disgusting, but it is delicious, trust me. It's very creamy, it's warm, it's got cheese, it's got butter. Ugh, it's just so good. It's so good, especially on a day like today. I'm filming on the first day we had snow, and it's just like, I need something warm to put in my belly today. The important ingredient that you're gonna need is, of course, rice, since this is a rice dish. But don't use that Insta white rice that you have sitting in your cupboard. No, no, no. That will not work. Instead, you are going to be using, I use arborio rice, which this one's from Wegmans. You can also get it at Tops or at Target. There's different brands, different kinds, whatever. Just make sure it's not instant. Arborio, A-R-B-O-R-I-O, rice. Bourdain calls for carnaroli rice. I have never heard of that. It sounds very fancy and very expensive. If you find it and try it, let me know. It just sounds fancier than I mean to be. The other important ingredients you'll need besides the rice, which is of course the star of the show, and whatever extra ingredient you're gonna put in, you will need an onion, just a little one, and we're gonna use a golden one today, yellow, golden, whatever color it is. You will also need chicken broth or chicken stock, and the important part of this is make sure you heat up your broth or stock before you put it in the rice. I tried it not warmed up and it didn't go so well. The other important ingredient you'll need is you will need white wine, or, and this is where we're also going to deviate from Bourdain, and maybe some risotto perfectionists might come for me, beer. If you don't want to cook with alcohol, you can just use extra broth or stock, but the alcohol gives it like a special taste. All the alcohol cooks off, so this is perfectly safe to serve to members of your family. Okay, so important ingredients, as I said. You have the arborio rice, you have your onion, we have mushrooms, which I'm going to add in because, like I said, I have mushrooms that need to be used up, chicken broth or chicken stock, and beer or wine. You're also going to need butter and some olive oil to season the pan with. Okay, let's go ahead. First things first, we're going to chop up the onion and we're going to chop up the mushrooms. We are going to cook these mushrooms down. I'm using Baby Bella mushrooms. They are one of my favorites. I love the flavor and they just add beautifully. As you can see, I didn't chop them up too finely. They're actually pretty chunky. If you've never cooked mushrooms before, mushrooms do cook down. They're mostly liquid. So, well, they're not mostly. They have a lot of liquid in them. So when they cook down nice and small. So you don't want to chop them up too tiny. Otherwise, you won't have like any mushroom in your dish. We're going to just throw some olive oil in here. Just over the top. Like so. And let them cook. Oh, I missed the mushroom. It ran away. While you wait for your mushrooms to cook, this is an excellent time to go ahead and chop up your onion. Okay, mushrooms are just about cooked down. You can see they're nice and shiny. Yeah, I am happy with that. Now, if you are using the Anthony Bourdain method with saffron, which I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm a bad cook, bad chef, you are going to, while you're cooking down, if you're using mushrooms or any sort of other ingredient, while you cook it down, you are going to be heating up your broth with the saffron inside of it. So Anthony Bourdain in his recipe says to put the broth in a soup pot, so you can put it in this sort of pot, and add the saffron in there and incorporate it as it heats. That way when you add the broth into the risotto as it cooks, you get the saffron flavor infused. So we're gonna go ahead, we're just gonna leave these mushrooms in the pan. We're gonna bring over our chopped onion in the pot that we're gonna cook with. And I have a little pat of butter in there too. Now when you're cooking onions, you just wanna sweat them a little bit. You don't want them to caramelize. You're gonna get the butter all melty. Spread it around. And I'm using butter, which Anthony Bourdain does not call for because I love butter. I'm using unsalted butter. Oh my gosh, the onion's making my eyes cry again. What is this? So my eyes never cry when I cut up onions. The only times they cry are when I'm recording for the library. What the heck? Alright, I'm going to turn my stove down a little bit. This pot cooks very fast. So you can see I'm starting to get some brown bits. I don't want too much of that because that means that it's caramelizing. Which means it's getting like a crust on it. I'm sorry, I have to turn my fan on. My hood. Alright. Now, so risotto moves fast, but it also moves slow. You have to like add things at the exact right time. I'm going to add in my rice. Remember, no instant rice. And you're going to incorporate that into the onions. And what you're looking for now, I just seared my pan. Sorry guys, not a professional chef. What you're looking for now is you want the rice to sear a little bit. You want it to cook. This is what releases the initial starches that makes for that nice, almost soupy texture of the risotto when it's done. Just kind of let it, you can almost hear it cooking. I know, it's riveting to watch. Doesn't take very long, maybe about a minute. I'm at medium heat right now. I sort of flashed them to begin with. Oops. Alright, so you can kind of see where my rice is starting to get nice and toasty. That's exactly what I want. And now, I'm going to cook it down a little bit longer, actually. Just a little bit longer. Now, I'm going to add my liquid. In the first part, you want to add the alcohol so that it has time to cook off. So I'm adding beer. Don't come for me, I'm adding beer. This is where traditionalists, you would use white wine. And that's fine that it does that. That is what it's supposed to do. It will do that for wine too. Go ahead and make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Oh, that smells good. That smells like pretzels. And now you let all the moisture cook off. You can almost see the starches starting to cook off of the rice. It's getting like that milky color. So risotto, just keep kind of scraping the bottom of the pan. Make sure nothing's sticking. You want to make sure everything's evenly distributed so that everything gets cooked through. But risotto is one of those things, like I said, it's really fast and also takes forever to cook because you have these exact moments where you have to add the ingredients or where things change, but you also have to now wait for all of this liquid to boil off. You also don't want to add all of your liquid in at once, so you're going to add it in slow increments, which helps the starches in the rice to release more. So instant rice has been blanched, which means the starches for the most part have been taken out. That's the natural starch that helps the rice actually cook and soften. So that's why we use non-instant rice, so that we can get that nice starchy unhealthiness. That's so delicious. You can see the liquid has started to cook off. Again, scrape the bottom. The more patient you are with this, the better. Alright, now that all my alcohol has cooked off, I'm going to add in a half cup of broth or stock at a time, which I kind of honestly eyeball. So you can add it half a cup at a time if you want to exactly measure it out, or you just can kind of eyeball it. Like I said, I also cut the recipe in half, but you are going to want to add liquid in no more than a half cup at a time. And now you just repeat the process until all your broth is gone. So hang tight. And remember, use heated chicken stock or chicken broth. You can use veggie broth if you want to. That's perfectly fine if you want to go for a vegetarian option. The flavor will be slightly different, but you're good to go. I've never used beef broth because I feel like the flavor would be too strong. But hey, give it a try. Let me know. So you guys see how it's getting that milky color? Again, that's the starch. That's what we want. Like watching paint dry, but you're watching rice cook. Are you enjoying this? Okay, you guys get the gist. I'll be back when this is done cooking down. Okay, we're almost there. getting nice and cooked down. I'm actually gonna add just a flash more alcohol, just add a little bit more flavor, because I love when that happens. Again, don't worry, the alcohol cooks off. Also, if it's cold out and you're making risotto, bonus points. You will warm up from standing over the stove for so long. You can see, sorry if the steam's in your way. It's almost like porridge. All right, I am happy with that. So now we're gonna turn the heat off. We're gonna move over here. Now that I'm off the heat, my risotto is pretty much cooked. You can still see there's still some liquid, but it is mostly cooked down. I forgot to say we're gonna add cheese. We're gonna add cheese to this. I'm using a Parmesan mix. If you're in a pinch, you can use pre-grated Parmesan. I won't tell anybody. I've done that before. But you're going to leave the spoon. Add in your cubed butter. And quickly, Jackie, quickly, before all the butter melts, add in your cheese, and then beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it, do 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 do. Just beat it, beat it. This incorporates air as well as obviously incorporating cheese and butter, but it helps make it fluffy. Fluffy, I'm gonna die. Just keep kind of scooping around. And now we're gonna add in the mushrooms. We're not gonna beat these in, we're just gonna fold these in because I don't wanna knock out air. Oh my goodness, smells, made a mess. What's new? I always make messes. If you've never met me before, I am a very messy person, especially while cooking. Smells delicious. It is creamy. It is cheesy. I don't think I ruined my pan too much. All right. So you can see like the cheese. I know it doesn't look that appetizing, but we're gonna like plate it up really nicely and you'll see how yummy this can look. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it in this pretty dish to serve. I'm gonna just put some parsley on top. If you watch my potato video, yes, I'm doing the exact same thing. Just a little bit on top. Add some color. We're gonna do just a fine sprinkling of cheese. We don't want too much more cheese. Et voila! Some lovely, yummy, filling risotto. So now what I do, if I don't eat all of it, / there's some leftovers from whatever, I will just put it in a Tupperware, put it in the fridge. Usually it doesn't last in my house past a week because we're all like munching on it as we go. When you reheat it, if you are going to, add just like a dollop of milk or butter and it'll help it become creamy again. If it starts smelling funky, then throw it out as usual. But that's it. That's the risotto. Perfect for a holiday dinner. I am not going to taste test it, although it smells delicious. I don't yet know what we're going to be cooking next week, but stay tuned. It's probably going to be something sweet. But make sure you like this video. Subscribe to NOPL's YouTube channel if you're so inclined. We do have a bunch of virtual programming going on. And visit nopl.org, NOPL.org, for more information on our different events and what we have going on. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay warm. And thanks for watching. Till next time.